triggers a new level of conservation for almost all the cities.
Continuing coverage this morning on the valley's water concerns. The reservoirs that hold our storage water are now even lower.
This could mean stricter water rules in valley cities. Channel 5's Christian Von Preissing picks up our coverage this morning.
The canals that supply water to our cities are supplied by the Rio Grande, and the Rio Grande is supplied by 2 reservoirs upriver. The combined capacity for storage for the United States has now dropped below 20%, which is an important number which will trigger more water restrictions for valley cities. The supply of water upriver for the Rio Grande Valley is dwindling with a hot summer ahead. On Friday, the Rio Grande Water Master reported the remaining supply for the U.S. side of the river in Amistad and Falcon reservoirs reached 19.71%. The head of Region M Water Planning Group, Jim Darling, says dropping below 20% will trigger new restrictions in many cities.
I think we need to get serious about it. We weren't serious at 25. We haven't been serious, and cities need to really get out and push. I was at a group meeting at the island this week, and I asked how many people know what the restrictions are. 2 people out of a room, probably of 200 knew. And so we're not pushing it out. They need to push it out. You know, let's try the voluntary thing, but really publicize it. And then if it doesn't get voluntary, you need to start going and enforcing it.
In McAllen, Stage 2 restrictions began last September because reservoir levels dropped below 25%. When water levels fall below 20%, McAllen Ordinance says stricter restrictions need to take effect.
McAllen MPU is probably looking at implementing water restrictions and looking at the proper timeline to get those done. But at the end of the day, what we're really focused on is there's no doubt these water issues have moved up to the forefront of a lot of our discussions.
In Brownsville, the valley's largest city, Stage 2 water restrictions are in effect. Stage 3 restrictions start when reservoirs drop below 15%.
But as the reservoirs continue to evaporate or deplete, whichever the case might be, when we hit certain levels, new restrictions will have to go into effect. Everything from when you can water your lawn or wash your car to how much water you can use at home without having to pay a premium for that usage.
Right now, Falcon Dam continues drying up at its lowest point since 1971. Conversations about water future are coming up at city halls across the valley this week.
But if each of us does our part, it's not an unbearable situation. But we all have to do our part, from citizens to businesses to the local governments, and not just one city like Brownsville taking the lead on tough initiatives. All cities in South Texas need to ensure that they are discussing the issue and taking steps towards conservation.
Christian Von Preissing, Channel 5 News.